come in, sir?
Yeah, please come, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Come. Good morning.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sorry.
Good
Or
afternoon,
even
sir.
good evening. Going to be evening.
Good evening, sir.
So, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you.
Good. You are looking very cheerful. That is the first requirement for any interview.
Thank you,
Good.
sir.
So, tell us. So, how are things?
All going good, sir.
So, you tell us what is what is it you expect from this interview board?
Sir, I would like to convey to the board how my personality would be suitable to the public services.
Okay. So, what questions you want us to ask you?
Sir, how my personality or my career, what I've studied so far, can be put to use or leveraged in the public services. Any question that can bring out this.
You
topic.
give us the example. We will ask that question only.
Sir, maybe how my graduation in computer science can help in civil services.
Okay. I'll ask you a slightly different question, Pavithra. You worked in Capgemini.
Yes.
For
Sir.
how many years?
Sir, so far it's been 2 years and 10 months now, sir.
You are still working there?
Yes, sir.
And you are a team leader there?
Yes,
So
sir.
they must be paying very well?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Then why do you want to check out when you must be getting a lot of holidays and all that and bonuses, so many things? Okay. Why do you want to check out all that and come to a very dreary and dull bureaucracy where you have to handle all sorts of very good people? So you are the daughter of a bureaucrat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So your father might have told you about the problems he is facing every day, in a sensitive department like Metro Water Works and all that.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So after hearing all this, still why do you want to get into service? And that too, working in a very nice, multinational and all that. Tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, primarily there are two reasons that I'm looking for a career in civil services, sir. Firstly, I think civil services can create a meaningful impact on the lives of a large number of people, sir. And the job diversity that a career in civil services offers is unparalleled, and I don't think any private sector can offer that diversity, sir.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir.
With reference to Capgemini.
Yes, sir. Sir, in my current role, I'm working for one of our European clients, sir. So the work that I do is limited to IT transformation and managing the financials for that particular firm, which is based in Netherlands. So the impact that I create on the society is, I believe, very limited for the fact that apart from the earnings that I get that are generated into the GDP of India, and probably my spending, consumer spending here, the impact created is very limited. Whereas if I were in the civil services, I think I could create an impact in the society through my day-to-day job on different social parameters like health, education, skill development for the youth of the country, and many such aspects, sir.
And is your present job repetitive?
Sir, not really, because in 2 years and 10 months of my role, I have changed about 3 projects, sir, so it's not been very repetitive.
But the tasks in each of these 3 projects, are they repetitive, are they same, or they are different?
Sir, I would say they are pretty similar because most of the work that we do is about analyzing the data that we have, trying to generate insights from the data to get better outcomes. So at a high level, it is the same, sir, just that the teams have been different across the 3 years.
Okay. So what are your optionals in the exam?
Sir, my optional was anthropology.
Okay. So can I ask you something about any one of the burning topics of the day? You choose for yourself. Any one of the burning, highly controversial, a lot of sound, fury and all that, without any, whatever it is. So select one topic and tell us something about it.
So one topic that I think which is burning in the country is intolerance, sir. Given the diversity that we have, this is not something which is new, but we see heightened sensitivity and strong unipolar or like extreme polarity in reaction to different diverse elements in the society. Anthropology, in fact, teaches us how we need to respect diversity in the society, sir, and how it helps the society in several ways. So I think that way, that is one way where we can clearly link learnings from anthropology to the current society, sir.
So you feel that diversity, which is one of the bedrocks of democracy, so that is not being really respected so much in the current times.
Sir, not that it is not being respected, but I think we are seeing some elements of quarrels or issues coming up between small groups in the country. So, yes, sir.
Okay, good. Ajay?
You must have heard about cryptocurrency.
Yes, sir.
What are the latest provisions in the recent budget about cryptocurrency? So first, what is cryptocurrency and how the government is trying to deal with it?
So, cryptocurrency is a form of virtual currency, sir, where there is blockchain technology being used at the background to initiate transactions. Basically, the concept is that there is no centralized authority like a bank to deal with the transactions, and it is more of peer-to-peer transactions that are happening. So recently in the budget, our finance minister has announced that transactions in cryptocurrency would be taxable, sir. However, there is a caveat here because we have not legalized or formalized transactions in cryptocurrency. But then in the budget, we have mentioned that it would be taxable. So the reason we have not legalized is we have a fear that they can lead to a lot of black money into the market, sir, that is money laundering or money being used for anti-social elements, and hence we have not legalized cryptocurrencies yet, sir.
Renewable energy. Renewable energy.
Yes, sir.
What can you tell about various forms of renewable energy?
Sir, we have several forms of renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, and biofuels also, sir. Renewable energy, we have a major push from the leadership in our country, the Prime Minister, to start adopting this technology to have a sustainable future in energy consumption in the country, sir.
What about green hydrogen? Did the leadership announce something during last 1 year on that?
Sir, we do have a strong push on using hydrogen as a fuel too, sir. I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the exact announcement, sir, but the only challenge with hydrogen as a fuel is that it is slightly expensive compared to other forms of energy, sir. That's why we prefer like renewable energy like wind, sun, solar energy.
About Sri Lanka issue, what is the recent news today?
Sir, today, currently because of the economic crisis that is going on and the mishandling that has happened in the country, there are countrywide protests, sir, for the Prime Minister to step down for the fact that it was mismanaged, the whole economic crisis. Yeah, there is a lot of unrest in the country as on today, sir.
Thank you.
So what is blockchain technology related to crypto?
Sir, blockchain technology is a form of technology where the data is connected in the form of a ledger, sir. That is a distributed ledger. That means an entry can be made from any part of the country, and once an entry is made into that ledger, there can be no changes that can be done to modify this entry. So that creates a very secure communication channel, sir, and it eliminates the need for intermediaries. For instance, a bank. That's why it has led to technologies like cryptocurrencies.
Being you are a computer science and management expert, if you got selected, how are you going to use this expertise, means IT and other technology, for efficient and effective governance?
Sir, I think an engineering degree in general improves the analytical skills of a candidate. So I think that way a computer science degree has sharpened my analytical skills. And I also believe, given that technology is embedded in our day-to-day governance today, it will help me very effectively understand and implement policies, sir, so that it can have a better impact on the society. And also, sir, I think by doing a post-graduation in management, it has also helped me hone my problem-solving skills that I can put to use on the ground if I'm working as an officer. And also, sir, I think a management degree has made me a better team player, given the fact that we have been working together in teams for different group projects or entire the course of 2 years. I think in that sense, my IT and management background can help me, sir.
What is IPR? Can you explain?
Yes, sir. Sir, IPR stands for Intellectual Property Rights. That is the exclusive rights that are awarded to a person for the intangible or the intellect created by them, sir. It could be in the field of any form, it could be art or any creative expression, sir.
What is the importance of Article 14?
Sir, I think Article 14 is the bedrock of our constitution because Article 14 highlights that we follow rule of law, and that forms the core of equality that is mentioned in our constitution. So I think it's a very prime article, sir.
Okay, one more. What is the importance of Article 17?
Sir, Article 17 eliminates or prohibits untouchability in the country, sir. So I think that article has been the core to eliminate many inhuman practices that have been prevalent in our country for several centuries.
Okay, lastly, what is the importance of Article 338? Connected to this only.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I'm not able to recall, sir, but 338 is to provide reservation to. I'm sorry, sir, I am not able to recall the exact.
Okay.
Just to follow on this Sri Lanka issue, what do you think are the causes of the present crisis in Sri Lanka? How did Sri Lanka land in such a bad situation today?
Sir, I think the cause of this crisis has been historical, but if we want to talk about why the crisis has aggravated in the recent past, it is a combination of several factors, sir. This balance of payment crisis that the country is facing is because of three primary factors that I would say. Number one, sir, the Sri Lankan economy is export dominated. They export tea, rice, rubber, etc. But these exports have been badly hit post the pandemic, sir. We did not have the global trade going on at the level that it should have been ideally. Hence, the country was badly hit, sir. The second reason, sir, is also because of the fact that tourists have been, the number of tourist arrivals in Sri Lanka has drastically reduced due to two reasons. Number one, the Easter bombings that happened that has created security tensions in the country, and also the COVID pandemic itself, which has inhibited travel. The third reason I would say, sir, is because of the misguided policies that have been formulated in the country. For instance, the fertilizer bill was creating a huge dent on the imports and foreign exchange that the country had to pay. So they had introduced a policy saying we will utilize or have only organic farming. But that was a misguided policy, sir, because 6 months down the line, the output from agriculture has drastically reduced. So the country's earnings have been hit badly. So combination of all these factors has led to the economic crisis in the country, sir.
But why should India bother so much about Sri Lanka?
Sir, India currently would be or is looking forward to be a global leader, sir. And for that fact, in the region that we are, we should also be a strong uh, a very friendly or a supportive country, sir, to our neighbors. I also think that the health of the Sri Lankan economy could also affect India. For the fact, sir, if we do not help our neighbors, the space could be taken over by other countries who are probably not as friendly as such to us. So we would like to gain the support of Sri Lanka as well in trying to be a global leader, sir, and hence we are trying to help Sri Lanka in a crisis.
So just one last question before I pass it on to my colleagues. So what do you think of this war in Ukraine? What are the implications for the world, and what are the implications for India?
Sir, the war, first of all, has been a very unfortunate event for the fact that Russia has attacked a sovereign country. But sir, the concerns that Russia has been very genuine. For the fact that if Ukraine goes ahead and signs a deal with NATO, the access to Moscow would be just about 15 minutes away from Ukraine. So Russia has very genuine security concerns. However, sir, the attack on a sovereign country is not justified. That's why India has been pursuing Russia to end the humanitarian attack or prevent the loss of lives in Ukraine. And sir, one of the major impact on the world because of this war would be it would lead to fragmentation of the world global trade, sir. For instance, US and the European countries have already imposed a lot of sanctions on Russia, and trade could be drastically affected because of this. Though in this whole process, the effect on India has not yet been very adverse. We are trying to work around to continue trade with Russia. For instance, the rupee-ruble trade to buy Russian oil. We are trying to find alternatives, but long term we can see other consequences because of the war, sir.
A part of the public opinion, a part of the world opinion, strongly feels that India is wrong because India has not condemned the attack of Russia, as you said, on a sovereign independent country, and India is trying to be like a cat on the wall, and India is also buying petrol at a discount, crude at discount from Russia. So a section of the world opinion thinks that they genuinely believe that India's so-called neutral stand is wrong, and it may be, little dangerous for India also in the near term. So how do you really agree with this assessment?
Sir, I don't think India has been wrong in what we have been doing so far.
Why?
Sir, we have neither voted yes or no. We have just abstained our vote at the UN. And also, sir, for the major fact that in international policy, the key interest is our own national interest. That is what we keep in our mind as a priority when we pursue an international relation policy. And Russia has been an old friend for India, been very supportive in terms of external security challenges whenever we had them.
But America also has been helpful. The institution in which you studied, it was funded by America only, your IITs.
Yes, sir. But that's why India has neither taken a stand against or for Russia, sir. I think it has taken a very independent stand and is keeping in mind the interest of the nation when we are pursuing a policy. So I don't think we have taken any wrong step in this matter, sir. And we are pursuing in a manner to prevent the human loss. We are trying to, in fact, it is said that India could be a mediator between the West and Russia.
Can that happen? Do you believe in that? Do you
Yes.
think two great nations, US and Russia, will like India to mediate?
Yes, sir, I strongly believe we can be a mediator.
You
for
are
both
very
these.
patriotic.
Sir, for instance, just before we were going to have a discussion with the Russian counterpart, our external affairs minister, we had a visit from US, the respective counterpart from US as well, because he wanted to discuss some aspects before we have a discussion with Russia. I think that highlights that US is giving us prime importance, and they did want to have some discussions with us before we go ahead and take any steps. So there is a possibility that we can be a mediator between the two nations, sir.
Okay. Nagi?
Yes, Pavithra, you did your BTech from IIT Hyderabad.
Yes.
Where? IIT Hyderabad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That institution has been set up with whose assistance?
Sir, it has been set up by the Ministry of Human Resources. There is also a lot of support that we have from Japan, sir, because we have an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Japanese universities.
There is a huge financial backing from 𝐔𝐏𝐒𝐂, Japanese International Fund. Okay, good. Then you went over to Bangalore to IIM.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Bangalore is known, at least in the olden days, as Garden City of the country.
Yes, sir.
What evidence of that you see in your IIM campus?
So I think IIM Bangalore can be aptly termed a mini Bangalore or a garden city, sir, because it's full of greenery. We have a lot of trees on campus, and also a lot of playgrounds that are filled in the campus, sir.
You stayed in the hostels there?
Yes, sir.
How is the cooling arrangement in the hostels?
Sir,
Do you have air coolers, air conditioners, or the fans?
Sir, we do not have any air conditioners. We only have fans, but we never had the necessity to have an air conditioner, sir, because it was very cool in the campus.
Are the fans there right from the beginning, or have they been set up in recent times?
Sir, I'm not sure, because from the time when we joined, they were there, sir, the fans.
Okay, but at least olden days, they did not have the fans. And they would boast that, in a garden city like ours, we don't require any fans. But now they seem to have set up. Okay, now this is all changing. Bangalore has changed. Now, what is your subject, optional subject?
Anthropology, sir.
Okay. Now, lot of changes are taking. There was a conference on these matters recent times. The change in the climate, atmosphere, and its impact on the human beings. A large international conference was there in recent times. Where was that? And what was that conference? Have you heard of 𝐏𝐻𝐒,
Yes, sir.
Where was that in the recent times?
Glasgow, it was
Yes,
held, sir.
correct. Okay. Was such a conference held in Hyderabad also any time?
So we did have some meetings in Hyderabad when even Ivanka Trump visited us, sir, but I don't think it was related to climate change, sir. Sorry, I'm not able to recall the exact.
We had a similar 𝐶OP conference sometime 2011, 12 or something like that. What is the biodiversity park you got there?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That
yes.
was set up in memory of that COP only. Okay. Now all this I am talking to find out something about Anthropocene from you. What is Anthropocene? Have you heard of this term, Anthropocene?
Yes, sir. I have heard of this term, sir. Sir, if I can please guess, because I'm not sure of the exact meaning.
Now, this is all about changes, the profound changes being caused by human beings and its impact on the entire Earth. Now, Earth is generally studied in terms of geological ages. Are you aware of geological ages?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What is Jurassic age?
So, we have time period units into eon, epoch, era, etc. These are the geological split that we have for the evolution.
Yeah, that's fine. But Jurassic age particularly, do you have any idea? Jurassic Park, there is a famous movie.
Yes, sir.
What's it about?
So, it was the era where dinosaurs were still living in on planet Earth.
When did they cease to exist?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall the year.
65 million years back. Okay, good. Then anthropology is your subject. What are your hobbies?
So, painting, sir.
Very good. I don't know much about the painting, but Have you heard of Museum? Where is this Louvre Museum?
Sir, in Paris.
What
in
is the
France.
famous exhibit there?
Sir, the Mona Lisa painting.
Okay, good. What is totemism?
Sir, totemism is a concept in religion where some societies they pray to totems in their culture, sir. Totems refers to either their ancestors or could be some of the living beings like a particular plant or a particular species. They have religious reverence for these entities, sir. That is known as totemism.
Okay, good.
Pavithra, so very nice talking to you. All these I think you are the fourth candidate today. All technocrats, they are opting for anthropology and sociology subjects like this. Why is it? Why is this kind of pattern? Is it you are very strong in mathematics or physics or chemistry or management, having studied full time for almost 6 plus 2, 6 years, right? 4 plus 2, 6 years. After leaving your domain knowledge, why do you choose subject like anthropology?
Sir, there were two reasons
Yes.
why I chose anthropology as my option. Number one, I could have taken management, sir, which is my core subject. But when I looked at the syllabus, I noticed there was about around 25 to 30% which we did not cover in college when we were studying. So I realized that I will have to invest a lot of additional time in trying to cover that syllabus with limited guidance that I can get. Apart from a few of my seniors, there was nobody who I knew cleared the exam. And sir, number two was my interest in anthropology itself, to learn about man as such and how we have evolved. And given that, I also saw that the syllabus or the scope that was in the syllabus was fairly limited compared to the other subjects, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now I'll come to another area of your interest. In fact, one of the earliest questions was that about the tolerance and intolerance you have mentioned. You are from, obviously, by seeing your biodata, your father is still working?
He has retired,
Okay,
sir.
he retired. Okay, he was the director in the Metro Water Supply. So obviously you are from the second generation or third generation. Where are your roots from? Which district or which part of Andhra Pradesh, combined Andhra Pradesh or Telangana? Where are you from?
Yes, sir. Sir, my grandfather from my father's side was based in Telangana only,
Okay.
sir, in Hyderabad.
So he was
Like-
also employed in Hyderabad?
Yes, sir. He was
Okay.
employed. He was a Mandal Parishad officer, sir, my grandfather. And from my mother's side, though my grandfather also, for the most part of his life, lived in Hyderabad, my great-grandfather comes from a district in West Godavari, sir.
So do you have any contacts with your roots, your village, or keep going to the rural areas?
No, sir, because my entire cousins and relatives have all moved to
Disconnected,
Hyderabad.
totally disconnected.
Yes, sir.
So you are having been born and brought up in Hyderabad. Have you come across this word social discrimination that still exists in Hyderabad or in the rural areas? Can you explain the prevailing situation in this country or in this state?
Sir, I think discrimination in our society is manifested in many forms, sir. Number one, I can say it is based on caste. Number two, on gender. Number three, on the economic background of an individual. And also, sir, I think there are many other factors, sir, but these three are the primary factors on which discrimination is based in the society. Sir, but one thing that I can say is, compared to where we were around 75 years ago, to the progress, to the current situation, we made a lot of progress, sir. And I think at least the caste-based discrimination in urban areas has reduced drastically, sir. I see very little discrimination being at least offered in terms of matters when they want to, let's say, make friends or anything. In terms of caste, I don't see any difference, sir. But it still is prevalent in matters of politics and marriage, sir. That has not been eliminated yet. But sir, the situation is not the same in rural areas. I think even the housing patterns or the occupation patterns are determined based on caste. So I don't think rural areas have made as much progress as we have achieved in urban areas, sir.
How do you tackle that situation if you're into a district as a collector of the district? How will you handle that situation? It's a kind of, explosive situation sometimes. How do you handle that?
Sir, I think as a district, if I were a district collector, sir, if I would go and give a one-on-one instruction, it may not be welcome because it may be seen as coming from an authority. So what I would try to do, sir, I would try to take into confidence the village leaders, the community leaders, and first try to explain to them the situation and gain their support in trying to convince the rest of the population in the village, sir. Because I strongly believe that for any individual, there is far more psychological comfort from someone who they've known or they respect rather than an outsider or somebody who they are unaware of. So I would try to leverage this aspect in trying to bring about a change, sir, in the society.
What policy, at micro level you have explained what I requested. But at the policy level, what do you think that there will be better changes or more progressive changes in the rural areas, particularly on the discrimination aspect? What policy changes are required?
Sir, I think the number one policy which is required is to provide accessible education to everybody, sir. I think that is the key factor that can help eliminate discrimination and provide an equal platform to any individual. So I would make sure that education is accessible to each and every member in the society without facing any hurdles. And sir, coming to a policy aspect, for instance, if you're looking at a housing policy, I would try to put in special efforts to make sure that it is a very heterogeneous grouping or a distribution of the house allotments or things like that when we are allocating housing units. So that way there would be no isolated groups or discrimination that some pockets of the society are living in only a particular group. So I would try to implement these two aspects in policy making.
Last question is as per your biodata, you are drawing right now 2.5 lakh rupees per month. If you are selected and then posted as a sub-collector, your salary will come down to some 70,000 rupees. How do you reconcile that and why are you, after leaving such a lucrative position, why are you looking for this kind of a job which gives you pay cut rather than a pay increase?
Sir, I think like I have said initially, a career in civil services is far more rewarding in terms of the impact it creates on the society, sir. And also for the fact that this pay cut, I think is far more easily justified for the social reward and the social recognition that I would be able to receive. And also, sir, and I think a heavy pay pack is justifiable initially, sir. For instance, the excitement that I had when I first drew this job offer versus now has slightly come down. So if I'm looking at a career that would last for 30 to 35 years, I don't think a money package would be judicious in satisfying me, sir. So I think there are other fulfilling means that we should look at for a sustainable and a long-term career. So that's
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Rajendra, you want to ask? So thank you. So we'll call you in about 10-15 minutes, okay?
sure, sir. Thank you.
Just wait, we'll call you back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.